Belgium's Prime Minister has called for the European Union to buy energy collectively as fears mount of a potential crisis this winter linked to the conflict in Ukraine. EU leaders are meeting in Brussels as Russia squeezes gas supplies to the bloc. And that is forcing many within the EU to contemplate once again turning to coal to keep the lights on. Benefiting from that could be South African coal producers, who at times are battling to keep up with the demand. The BBC's Vumani Mkize brings us this report.
This coal mine produces over 200,000 tons of raw coal a month. All of it is destined for export. Coal prices hit a record of over $400 per ton this year. While the price has subsided, demand is still high as the war in Ukraine has no end in sight.
Just 6 months ago, at the COP26 climate change conference in Glasgow, commitments were made to phase out coal globally. But the war in Ukraine has upended that. South African coal miners, such as this one, are benefiting from record coal prices as well as a significant rise in orders from European countries, eager to plug the gap left behind by Russia.
Canyon Coal runs 4 mines across the country and, like all South African producers, are benefiting from the boom and at times struggling to keep up with demand.
After COVID pandemic lockdowns, the economy started restructuring and then restarting the economies. And then we had this issue between Russia and Ukraine. That is the biggest actually reason for the resurgence, because Russia is a big supplier for European markets, 136 million tonnes per year. So that coal now stopped. As of August 10, there will be no Russian coal going to Europe. So that means that Europe needs to get coal from somewhere, and then they mainly come to South Africa and go to Colombia to buy the coal.
Experts say the commodities boom has cushioned the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the South African economy, resulting in a $12 billion boost to tax revenues this year.
If you look at the commodities prices, we've seen a resurgence in sort of a commodity super cycle. We saw that early in 2021, we're seeing it again now. But also fueling this, you can't discount the fact that the Russia-Ukraine tensions are weighing in heavily on market sentiment.
While the resurgence of coal has been good for the coal miners and exports, it's bad for the environment. Experts are worried coal's bounce back will hamper the global climate change initiative.
The bottom line is that all of us should be looking, everywhere in the world, all of us should be looking to slow down coal production and slow down coal-fired power generation. The problem with the high prices we're seeing at the moment is that it creates an incentive to ramp up coal production and possibly even to build more coal-fired power, which would be a real tragedy from a climate perspective.
With Germany's decision to restart its coal-fired power plants, it seems South African coal producers and others around the world will have their hands full trying to keep up with demand. Vumani Mkize, BBC News, Johannesburg.